By now, you've probably seen the headline. Microsoft CEO says AI will replace most white collar jobs in 12 to 18 months. And if you're a mid career professional sitting in a corporate job right now, that headline probably hits you differently than it did other people. Not as an abstract text story, not as something happening to somebody else, but as something that feels uncomfortably personal because you're a project manager or a marketing professional or a corporate trainer or an accountant, and somebody at the top of one of the most powerful technology companies in the world just said your job could be automated within the next year and a half. I'm Gary Smith. I spent nearly 2 decades in corporate leadership at roles for companies like AIG Financial, ERA Real Estate, and Mercedes-Benz before I transitioned into working for myself in 2019. Now I teach business strategy at the graduate level, and I coach professionals like you who are actively asking the question right now, is my job safe? And if you were already worried about that, this Microsoft statement didn't help. But before we jump into that and talk about what you should do, let's get one thing straight. Because the headline most people saw wasn't entirely accurate. It wasn't Satya Nadella, Microsoft's overall CEO, who made that statement. It was Mustafa Suleyman, the CEO of Microsoft AI, speaking to the Financial Times. Now, that's an important distinction. Not because it makes the statement less significant, it doesn't, but because if you're going to make a decision based on this information, you should know exactly who said it and in what context. So with that clarified, here's what Suleyman actually said. And more importantly, here's what you should do about it. Let's start with exactly what Suleyman said, because that nuance matters. So, speaking to the Financial Times, he said, quote, I think we're going to have human-level performance on most, if not all, professional tasks. So, white-collar work, where you're sitting down at a computer, either being a lawyer or an accountant or a project manager or a marketing person, most of those tasks will be fully automated by an AI within the next 12 to 18 months, end quote. And I want to be honest with you about something. I've been saying a version of this for a while now. Not that AI would take your job in 18 months specifically, but that the idea of a job or job security, the belief that your employer will take care of you if you work hard and stay loyal, is a foundation that's been crumbling for years. AI just accelerated the conversation. And whether Suleyman's 18-month timeline is exactly right or not, whether it's 18 months or 3 years or 5 years, the direction is clear. The question isn't whether white-collar jobs are going to be disrupted by AI. They already are. The question is what you're going to do about it before it affects you personally. And there are really two ways that you can react to Suleyman's statement. The first reaction is just dismissal, right? Tech executives, they always overstate AI's capabilities. That's just hype. My job is safe. And look, there's some legitimacy to that reaction. Suleyman isn't exactly a neutral observer. He runs Microsoft's AI division. He has a financial interest in people believing that AI is going to transform everything. And plenty of experts have really pushed back on that timeline, pointing out that AI consistently underdelivers on its most aggressive predictions. The second reaction is panic. I need to quit my job immediately. Everything's about to collapse. I'm going to replace or be replaced by a machine. That's not helpful either, because panic leads to bad decisions. Here's a reaction I'd encourage instead. Strategic urgency. Not panic, not dismissal, but clear-eyed recognition that the environment you've been building your career in is changing faster than most people are prepared for. And the people that are going to be okay are the ones you start preparing now, not the ones who wait until it affects them directly, because here's the thing about disruption, right? It never announces itself with enough warning. By the time it's obvious to everyone, it's already too late to prepare. And that's why I created the Expertise to Income Assessment. It's a free 3-minute assessment. It measures your readiness to go out on your own across 6 key areas: your expertise, your market demand, your offer, your income potential, client acquisition, and your overall readiness to work for yourself. When you're done, you'll get a personalized score and instant feedback that shows you exactly where you're strong, where you have some gaps, and what you can focus on first. No fluff, no theory, only answers to the most important questions. The link's going to be down here in the description below, because the professionals who are going to come out of this period ahead are the ones who stop waiting to see what happens and start building something that isn't dependent on an employer's decision to keep them around. And I believe we're about to enter a period of time that's completely distinct from any other in human history. Now, I want to address something important, because you might be thinking People have been saying technology will replace jobs for decades. It never happens as fast as they predict. So why is this different? And that's a fair question. And the honest answer is it might not be different. The 18-month timeline might be totally wrong. But here's what's different this time. Previous waves of automation primarily affected repetitive, physical, rules-based tasks. Things like factory workers, data clerks, toll booth operators, right? Jobs that followed a predictable pattern that machines could easily replicate. White-collar professionals felt relatively safe because their work required judgment, creativity, communication, and relationship management. Things machines couldn't do. AI is different, though. It's specifically targeting the cognitive tasks the white-collar professionals thought were safe. Things like document review, financial analysis, project planning, marketing strategy, legal research. These aren't hypothetical future capabilities. They're happening right now. And the economic incentive, I should say, is enormous. Companies pay white-collar salaries that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars per employee per year when you include things like your benefits, your overhead, your management cost. If AI can do 60, 70, 80% of that for a fraction, companies will use it. Not because they're evil, because they're competitive. So whether the timeline is 18 months or 5 years, the direction is clear. And mid-career professionals who are going to be the most vulnerable are the ones who are entirely dependent on a single employer for their income. And the ones who are going to be the most resilient are the ones who have built the ability to generate income independent of any single employer. That's not a new idea, right? I've been talking about that on this channel for the past 2 years. AI just made it a whole lot more urgent. So, what does this actually mean for you? If you're a mid-career professional in one of the roles that Suleiman mentioned, or any white-collar role, what should you take away from this? Here's how I think about it. First, your tasks are at risk. Your expertise is not. This is the most important distinction that I can make. AI can automate tasks. It can review documents. It can analyze data. It can generate reports, and it can manage workflows. But AI cannot replace the judgment, the relationships, the strategic thinking, the contextual knowledge that comes from 5, 10, 20 years of doing the work at a high level inside real organizations. The lawyer who knows which arguments resonate best with which judges, the accountant who understands the nuances of a client's business beyond what's in the spreadsheet, the project manager who can read the room, manage politics, and keep a team aligned when everything seems to be falling apart. That's not in the data. That's not something AI can currently replicate. And that's exactly what you have if you spent years building expertise in your field. The threat isn't to your expertise. The threat is to the job that currently houses that expertise. And that's an important distinction because it means the answer isn't to panic about being replaced. It's to separate your expertise from your employer so that it becomes something you own, not something they can just take away by eliminating your role. Second, the window to prepare is open right now. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The best time to prepare for a disruption is before it affects you directly. Right now, you still have a salary. You still have financial stability. You have time to build something on the side without the pressure of needing it to work immediately. So the window is open, but it's not going to stay open forever. The professionals in your position who are going to navigate this well are the ones who use the stability they have right now to build independence, not the ones who wait until they're laid off and then they're scrambling to try to figure out, what do I do now? Third, working for yourself is the most AI resilient career move you can make. I mean, think about it. This way, if a company can replace an employee with AI, they will, because employees are costs, fixed costs with overhead and benefits and management layers, but companies will always need expertise they don't have internally. They'll always need someone who can come in, understand a specific problem, and deliver a specific outcome. All right, that's what consultants and coaches and freelancers do. And AI doesn't eliminate the need for that. In some ways, it actually is increasing it because as companies automate more of their routine work, the need to have more strategic guidance on how to do this effectively, the people who sell that expertise directly to the market, who aren't dependent on any single employer, they're the most resilient in an AI-disrupted economy. Not because AI can't touch them, but because they have multiple clients, multiple income streams, and the ability to adapt their offer as the market changes. That's the new security, and it's available to you right now. So where do you actually start? I'm not going to give you a 10-step plan in this video. That's not what you need right now. What you need right now is a shift in how you're thinking about your career. Stop thinking about your career as something that happens inside a company. Start thinking about it as really a portfolio of expertise that you own and that you can deploy in multiple ways for multiple clients, independent of any single employer. That shift in thinking is the foundation of everything else. Because once you start thinking that way, the next questions become obvious. What expertise do I have that's valuable to the market? Who will pay for that expertise? How do I package it into something I can sell? How do I find my first clients? Those are the right questions, and they're the questions I help professionals like you answer. But you can't answer them if you're still waiting to see if the disruption actually happens. By the time it's obvious, the window to prepare will be significantly smaller. The best move you can make right now, whether Suleiman's 18-month timeline is accurate or not, is to start building your independence while you still have the stability to do so thoughtfully. Microsoft's AI CEO just told the world that white-collar jobs, lawyers, accountants, project managers, marketers, could be fully automated within the next 12 to 18 months. Maybe he's right. Maybe the timeline is off, but the direction is clear. And if you're a mid-career professional who's been thinking about working for yourself, who's been wondering if now is the right time, let me tell you something. The question used to be, is working for myself a good option? AI just changed that question to, can I afford not to? Your tasks are at risk. Your expertise is not. The window to prepare is open right now, and working for yourself is the most AI resilient career move you can make. The strategy is in how to actually make the move, how to figure out what expertise you have that the market will pay for, how to package it, how to find clients, how to replace your current income on your own terms. That's the implementation. That's exactly what I help professionals like you figure out. So if you feel that your job isn't as secure as you want it to be, and you're ready to build something that is, I'd encourage you to take the free 3-minute expertise to income assessment. There's going to be a link down here in the description below. You can also book a one-on-one strategy call with me. There will be a link for that as well. But I recommend starting with the free assessment so you can get your expertise to income score. And when you're done, you'll get personalized results, instant feedback that you can then apply. All right, that's it for today. I'll publish another video in a few days, but don't wait. Click the link below and get your expertise to income score today.